Survival games. I'm not too familiar with this particular genre, but I feel it used to have something special. When a survival game came along, it was always a big thing. Now it's become the bandwagon that everyone wants to jump on, and to make things worse, they keep adding zombies into the mix. Great. Like we needed any more zombie games. This is going to be like what happened when everyone wanted to make first-person shooters. This may sound like I'm complaining, but this is honestly how I feel things are going at the moment. I came around to this conclusion after I saw the trailer for 7 Days to Die. Yes, I know it's wrong for me to judge a game I haven't played yet. Trust me, I've been there before. But the trailer for this game did not impress me. Plus, it's on early access, and I refuse to pay for a game that hasn't even finished yet. I had seen 7 Days to Die being advertised on Steam, so I gave the trailer a look-see, and my reaction to it was, this is pretty much Minecraft Zombie Edition. What gave me that impression was how much it reminded me of Minecraft in the first few minutes. I know using other games for inspiration is not a bad thing, but when the gathering and build mechanics are so similar, you'll have to forgive me for drawing that conclusion. In fact, Minecraft isn't the only game they seem to be using for inspiration here. They also seem to be channeling DayZ, obviously, the Left 4 Dead series, and the Fallout series too, what with Mutant Bandits they plan on including. Although that last one makes the tone a bit inconsistent. Yeah, zombies are fine for a survival game set on Earth, but the whole mutant idea makes it sound like it's being set on another planet. One other thing I thought of, with regards to their level editor, was how long it would be until somebody tries to remake Princess Peach's castle from Super Mario 64, and then fill it with zombies. This whole thing started to get me thinking about other games that take something pre-existing and just add zombies. My first thought was the Nazi Zombie mode from Call of Duty, but then I remembered Sniper Elite Nazi Zombie 1 and 2, the latter of which I will be looking at. These two games are kind of underrated, which isn't too surprising, but they aren't as bad as people make them out to be. They're very bare bones, not counting the zombies that turn up in it, and really are just as I've described before, the Sniper Elite V2 game with zombies added in. It's like what happened with Far Cry 3 with the release of Blood Dragon. Someone was told that they could make a standalone game for Sniper Elite and they could do whatever they wanted. Sadly, the ideas bucket must have dried up and all that was left was zombies. The story goes as follows. It's the end of World War II and... Wait, hang on, I need to stylize this.
1945. The Germans have been pushed back to Berlin by the Allied forces, and victory is within their grasp. But Adolf Hitler has one more dastardly plan up his sleeve. It is called Plan Z. Now, thousands of zombies roam the earth, and 4 survivors are tasked with escaping the undead and fighting the cause. Remember, viewers, aim for the head.
Yeah, the story is pretty crazy, but it gets the job done for the most part. The first game doesn't really go into much detail as to how and why there are zombies, but it gets revealed during the intro to the second game that the Nazis got hold of some artifact. I'm guessing they found it next to the Ark of the Covenant. Also,
Execute Plan D!
Really, Rebellion? Is that the best you could come up with? Well, I can't really complain. The plot's basic enough to drive the game along, so that's nothing more than a nitpick at the end of the day. The gameplay itself is... the same? I can only take a rough stab at that as I've not played the original V2 game, but all the mechanics I've seen in other gameplay footage seem to be the same. The only difference now is that you mostly use your traps and grenades to thin the zombie numbers, and use them to stop any unexpected zombie butt rape. If you're going to play this game, I would suggest getting some friends to join in as well, because the single player option is just the multiplayer with fewer zombies in it, although the two modes seem to have a massive change in difficulty when human players are brought into it. Whenever I play the single player, I always get up to one point in the first level and very quickly get overrun by zombies, while playing on the easiest difficulty setting. Although this may have more to do with the fact that I suck at sniping. Of course, once you start bringing in other players, the difficulty suddenly vanishes. Sure, the number of zombies increases, but 1 to 3 more bodies and all the challenge goes out the window, especially when a single grenade throw can take out several zombies in one go. They can resurrect themselves if not killed by a headshot, but you can see when they get back up and very quickly kill them again. Both games try and ramp up the challenge by including the special brand of zombie, which everyone seems to think is needed in every other zombie game. Sure, it does change the pace a little, and it's understandable why they include them, because if they didn't, there wouldn't be any high points during the game, particularly during the survive the siege sections of a level. However, the special zombies themselves don't really add much. I see this happen in a few other zombie games, and I think I understand why they don't feel like that much of a threat. For the sake of argument, let's look at the Left 4 Dead series and the special infected. The common infected die pretty much within one shot, and they don't have much to them other than swarming you, so you just shoot them until they're all dead. Now, throw a boomer into the mix, and what happens? Someone might accidentally shoot it, gets another player covered in slime, and they get mobbed by the remaining infected. A spitter suddenly shows up and launches its spit. Everybody's scrambling to get out of the goo before they take too much damage, which might cause them to become separated. This is why the special infected in Left 4 Dead works so well, because they make the players deal with various situations. They were probably designed like this more for the multiplayer, but they still function the same way in any other game mode. The special zombies in Nazi Zombie Army don't make the player change the way they're dealing with them. It's always the same tactic: shoot them in the head before they get too close. The infernal zombies in the second game do make the normal zombies run at you faster, but all that does is just make them a higher priority targets to be shot in the head. Plus, the zombie placement is all predetermined, so if you see a machine gun zombie in one location, you'll know it'll be there next time you play. I may have had a lot of bad things to say so far about this game, but there is one thing this game does right, and that is atmosphere. It's like, well, you know what, I'm just going to let this footage explain it for me. This is probably one of those games you could play with the lights off and headphones on and get creeped out over. The first game has this very dreary colour palette that uses a lot of dark blues and blacks. The second game, on the other hand, takes it to the opposite extreme by having everything on fire, but it uses a lot of muddy oranges and vibrant reds to make you feel like you've stepped into some sort of living hell, so much to the point that the water looks like blood. So to sum up, these games were pretty much just a quick cash-in for the developers of V2, which is why it gets a lot of negative reviews. Also, it lacks any replayability due to the campaign being so short, and the collectibles are there just for achievements more than anything else. However, if you're looking for something to do for an evening's entertainment with some friends, it can be very enjoyable. In other words, it's boring to go alone, bring friends.